and welcome to East High School's fall production of Red Ink. My name is Conrad Branch, and I am the playwright of this murder mystery. Now, just a few announcements before we begin. Please turn off all cell phones or silence them, and no flash photography. We cannot make it clear enough we do not want to see cell phones in your hands during the performance. Or else you'll see blood on ours. Now, please keep the aisles clear at all times and stay in your seats during the performance, as the actors use nearly every single inch of the room. That being said, there will be a 10-minute intermission in which you will all please leave the study so we can reset. This is also an immersive experience, so please be ready for... I'm sorry. Do you need a mouthwash or something? I'm just smelling something over here, and it's really... I also have deodorant or foot fungi, anything like that. I really... Never mind. Please, enjoy the show. For the actors to interact with you. But that doesn't give you any right to disrespect the actors in any way. Also, another warning, there will be use of a prop gun in this play, along with other hints of violence and flashing lights. Now, if there are any East teachers in the audience tonight, please stand. These are our top suspects! No, in all seriousness, we thank you for coming and seeing what your students have been up to these past 2 months. We'd also like to thank Dave Medicus, who helped create this amazing set, Deborah Voss, our director, for giving me this opportunity and bringing this play to life, along with Brandon Ogan, our student director, for helping me all along the way. I couldn't have done this without you. We couldn't have done this without you. Now, tonight you will be seeing the seniors' final performance. Please enjoy.
The truth is never as it appears to be until you find yourself on the Reaper's doorstep. I thought I knew all the secrets of this estate you see before you. But alas, I find myself in a story you could find on one of these very bookcases. The scene you see before you is about 5 minutes after a tragic moment has occurred. What could that possible moment be? You may ask yourself. Well, whatever is coming from the right side of my abdomen shall answer the question for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what you see before you is warm, red blood on my hand. That's jam. That's most definitely jam. I apologize. I got my spills on the other. Moment. Whatever is coming from my left breast pocket shall answer the question for you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, warm, red, blood. Oh, the moment's passed, hasn't it? Right, well, I suppose we'll get on with it. It is a cold morning on the 4th of November, 1886, and we are in an estate just west of London. My name is Mr. Body, head of the finest publishing company in all of the United Kingdom. And I will be helping you all navigate the book you just picked up and decided to read. And this book just happens to be a murder mystery.
Oh, Miss Scarlet! Are you in here? I saw you heading this way. Suggestively, might I add? Ah! There you are. I recognize that beautiful head of yours when I see it. I'm a professor of anatomy, you know, and Great Scott!
And so it begins. The victim was discovered by the very guest he had invited that morning.
Mr. Buddy, I'd like to formally complain about the services this morning.
Mr. Molly, I would like to give compliments to the chef on the food from this fine morning.
What are you doing here and what are you looking at? Goodness, he's dead. I'm free.
He's slouching!
Oh,
wait a minute.
I think it's just my foot. I suppose I might.
No time to waste. Where is the maid?
Where's the gun?
Chef, what is it, Professor? Yes, Mr. Green?
Yeah.
Call for the best detective in all of London.
Yes, Professor, come right away.
Of course, don't you fret.
Okay.
Where do you think the gardener is going? He's just running further into the meadow.
Well, I suppose he'll write his message on that pumpkin and roll it down the hill.
Now, everyone, I realise we don't particularly know each other very well, but we must stay calm and trust that help is on the way. And we should definitely keep Miss White from coming in here. Now that. Father! Never mind.
He's dead, isn't he? And by a stab wound of all things, another has decided to take the life of a beloved man from us. Who would do such a thing? Who would want to take him away from me? No, please. No, please. Father, please.
Ah! A murder! A real-life bloody murder! Or should I say a real dead murder? My body stabbed!
You too, are you okay?
No. Oh, it doesn't matter now. My own boss has been killed on my own nose! I should no longer be who was worth less. I don't know.
Well, I didn't reach this age by doing anything myself. You're the butler that's seeing how clean this mess up.
You're right. I shall find justice or fail to do so over my dead body and his as well. Now, I shall call for the best detective in all of London.
I called.
There is no time for debating or dilly-dallying, people. Operator? Yes, dial me to 221B Baker Street. Please hurry. Thank you.
This is Baker Street Quarters. You're currently speaking with the sharpest of minds in all of London. How may I help you?
Detective James Moriarty is your good friend Wadsworth. I have come bearing a task for you at hand. I have a case for you to solve.
Apologies. A case?
Yes, one that, if solved, could be published across the country, leaving your name in its history, James.
I see. I believe I need a moment, if you will.
Take your time, but do be hasty.
Yes! 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 Oh, I can afford a finer trim, a taller hat, perhaps a fancy monocle. All right, Wadsworth. What have you got for me today? What sort of schemes are afoot in the country?
A murder, sir.
Oh, a murder!
Of my beloved master, Mr. Body. We have many guests here at the estate today who are deeply disturbed by this tragedy. May he rest in peace, and may we all mourn sorrowfully.
Ah, yes, that is most unfortunate. So, have you called any other detectives onto the scene?
Oh no, I know how you like to work alone, and that perhaps others don't exactly like to work with you.
For your information, I actually have a partner now. Which reminds me, Detective Drew, wake up, come on, wake up.
Please, Moriarty, not this early.
Nancy Drew, we have a case to solve.
A case.
Yes! That's just right here. Come on. Wow! Come on. Can't stop me now. I'm on fire.
Oh, it's nothing.
Right here.
I apologize for all the interruptions. Where were we?
Detective James, I know you are quite the busy detective. I can imagine you at a desk filled with riddles and other cases that you have solved halfway into the nightfall.
Indeed.
And I know whomever you have sided with as your partner in crime is a resourceful and respected gentleman.
One muddy duckling. Two muddy duckling. Three muddy duckling.
Indeed.
Please, James, for we have no time to lose. The lives of Body Estate depend on it. I look forward to seeing you shortly.
This is so exhilarating. I'll go hail the carriage, and you get my magnifying glass.
Now hold on a minute. Since when did I grab things for you? Might I remind you who the mentor is here?
I am. Now trim my coattails, you peasant.
You're lucky you're as good as you are at investigating, Nancy Drew.
Woo!
Arthur, Agatha, Carolyn.
Yes?
Yes?
Wadsworth?
Please have the front ready for new arrivals. I've called for a detective all by myself.
Wadsworth, that may be a problem because...
Yes?
Nothing.
You see, I went well.
Believe me, you made a mistake. Not me. I haven't sent my message yet. I'm still writing it down. Get out of here.
Wadsworth, did I hear you say this detective would rather work alone?
Most detectives tend to. They are incredibly competitive people.
And what would happen if... Oh, I don't know. 3 more were to come.
Why would you say such a thing?
Well,
We look to those with keen eyes to help crack open the jar of deception, make our way through the jelly of secrets, and find the glass that holds the truth. If you can't tell, I'm still a bit hung up on that jelly. Rarely do we realize that detectives aren't always looking for a murderer, but a crowd to chant their name. 12:30. Detectives Moriarty and Drew enter the study.
Why, I can't believe there is an actual gentleman.
Stop it, you technical.
Attention! This study is now under official investigation.
And who may you be?
Detective Moriarty. Sharpest of minds are on the planet.
And your lady friend here? Detective Drew, pointiest of wits in all of England.
No, hold on. This is your partner in crime. To be honest, Sherlock, I was kind of expecting
Don't say it.
Surely you must mean this girl here is an assistant or secretary.
Oh no, I can assure you I'm a detective.
But you're a woman.
I said I'm a detective!
Master, please. Women can do many things in this age. They request more power. I rather like it. A lot better.
keep your pipe in your pants, Professor. Nobody here is going to light it for you.
Detective. Fascinating.
Excuse me, everyone, but it would be much appreciated if you let my work speak for my competency.
Yes, there is no need for judgment against me or my partner just yet. Perhaps we start with the victim.
My pleasure. The body looks fresh, still close to normal human temperature. Muscles haven't stiffened yet. I'd say it's been about 60 minutes since his death.
Yes, that sounds correct. I found him here about 10 minutes after he left the table.
There's a strawberry jelly stain on the right side of his abdomen and a stab wound in the left pec going through the breast pocket, most likely reaching the heart and leading to a quick ending. Now the stab wound...
Oh, would you like a magnifying glass to inspect?
No need. I just asked for it as a joke. No one actually uses magnifying glasses, Moriarty.
What?
The stab wound doesn't appear to be made from the average knife or sword, so it must have been unique in some way. Perhaps a spear of some kind, unfortunately, is no longer in the body.
That's keen eye right there.
From the position he's currently in, I'm guessing he was standing up beforehand and then fell into his current arrangement after the act.
So what? He was just standing around and someone decided to walk up and stab him.
Oh, sorry.
No, the angle of the incision is straight forward, not normal placement for someone going for an underhand or overhand advance. The weapon must have been tossed into the body. From where I stand, I would say the murder was right in front of this desk. Moriarty, what do we have on the environment so far?
Right, it appears we have a book on the lap of the victim. There is an odd carving on the cover, and all the pages are blank. The owner of a well-established publishing business must leave blank books all over the place. Now, for the desk, it appears all of the items have been pushed into a crest fashion, as though someone sat on the desk.
Has anyone gotten to the desk?
No, but I was planning on it. But you
Stop right there.
Why exactly were there so many guests here today?
Oh, nothing really, just a gathering.
Then all you got that.
He was hosting a tea party, Moriarty.
Yes, a tea party.
Then why exactly was he in here?
He had received a letter of important information which I had informed him of and then placed on the desk.
In which he announced that he would be a moment before he would return again. It's quite rude of a host, but then again, half the table wasn't even there at the time.
I see. Of course, what I don't see is the letter, which only urges the fact that it was critical information. Anything to your knowledge, Wadsworth?
No, it appears to be very secretive.
So we find the letter.
Did we find the weapon?
One covered in striking news.
The other in blood.
One perhaps pointing towards a motive.
The other towards a means of committing the
We
act,
search the house and the surrounding areas.
along with every living being on the grounds.
And thus, if we are lucky and smart enough,
Which we are.
then we find the murderer.
Oh, that's
Now, how about that?
You see, I heard the right people, didn't I?
Yes, Wadsworth. A lovely job, an absolutely lovely job.
Oh, they're fine, I suppose, but surely no lady would be as good as
Sherlock Holmes! Prickliest of propositions in all of the United Kingdom. Nice to meet you.
Oh, no, not
So wonderful
again!
to meet you. So what's your name?
I don't like it.
Now what do we have here, my dear Watson? A study, excuse me, chap. A perfectly normal seeming study at that.
Except for the dead
Except for the dead body! Oh, so nice to meet you. Which is most clearly the mystery that you, wonderful ladies and gentlemen, shall see me, Sherlock Holmes, solve today. Oh!
Caroline's even more charming in person. And it really is for a man.
All right, Sherlock. I cannot have this. You know the deal. I got here first. I have first dibs.
Oh, and I would so graciously agree if I had not been personally called to solve this case. Now...
No, you're not going anywhere.
Oh! I am so sorry to everyone that this human-like ferret has walked onto your property. The real detective is here. Now...
What? You told me I was the only one hired here.
If anyone were to call for the best detective in London, I would only assume they would call for Sherlock.
Oh, you hear that, Moriarty? I'm sorry. Nobody ever wants to hire the Ripper sympathizer.
Ripper? Oh,
Hey, it's not worth it. You're better than this, Moriarty. Just keep your chimney smoke down. All right, just stay calm. We've talked about this. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, see. I didn't see you there. It's always nice to have a fellow detective's
Yes.
sidekick around.
Sidekick.
Nancy, it's all right.
I'm just breathing.
It's all right. Just don't listen to him. He's not even there.
No, just you barely keep your dog on the leash, can't you, Moriarty?
Oh, come on, everyone! He's a phony, a con man. He even once lathered the doorknob of a crime scene in butter, so I couldn't get in.
This is preposterous. Which reminds me, Watson, please head to the cellar now. Right now. Thank you.
You know what? Fine. Fine. Let's see you take one big swing at this case. That way everyone in this study can see just how big your dunce cap really is.
Oh, Moriarty, you severely underestimate my abilities. Just for where I'm standing right here, I can see that the victim was wounded in the bottom right abdomen. Thank you.
That's just jam, strawberry jam. The left breast is where the real wound is.
I just have to check, of course, just in case you're lying. I was having a laugh. He was surely shot! Wrong! That one has to be right.
Then go ahead, look for a bullet.
I wouldn't want to finger around anywhere where I shouldn't.
You're doing it again.
And what would that be?
You're trying to backslang it out of the situation like you always do. Your so-called deduction is worthless. Go ahead. Make one guess. One good guess. Something that is actually true.
I had misspoken earlier. One moment, please. So we have pants on still. That's good. And then a belt which needs to be unfastened, of course, just for detective's sake. And a mighty fine mustache. And oh! The pen! The pen is most surely what killed Mr. Body. I mean, just look at it right
You're just
there.
guessing that because it's in the same pocket as the wound. It's not even covered in blood and it's facing upwards.
Oh, but look at how sharp it is! A stabby! A stabby! A stabby! Oh, not that one. Not that one.
Seriously? A pen is your best guess? Who would think such a thing?
That is why you need a detective that thinks outside of the box. That is why you need someone you can trust. That's why you need the prickliest of propositions in all of the United Kingdom. Sherlock Holmes. Oh!
Yes, Sherlock, please! Save us! You know what? I quite like this guy's look say. I think
Precisely! Bravo to Sherlock! You've got the right ideas in your head and the right materials in your pants to be a good detective. Something I can't say for either of these two.
Oh.
Like that hat on you.
Thank you.
So, Sherlock.
Nice to meet you. Would you like my autograph?
All right!
Oh, you should go.
I can't have
Go
this.
sit down. He's gonna-
Sherlock,
Okay.
get out of this estate now, or I will make you by force. Detective Drew and I shall be the only detectives on this case.
I would not be too sure about that.
Righty, who is it now?
Yes, you Poirot, le plus désespéré detective in all of Europe.
What is this, Butler person? What kind of joke are you getting at?
Oh, I think I might as well write my own eulogy now. Thank you very much.
If my ears did not deceive me, it was because you were a very lumberjack with minimal vocabulary.
Me? I caught mustache man!
Oh, my apologies, a woman.
All right, this study did not have enough room for 3 detectives. Sorry, I meant 2 detectives and a woman. It most certainly does not have enough room for a Frenchman.
First of all, I am from Belgium.
Same.
So far.
And secondly, if there are so many keen eyes in this room, surely you have noticed there is a new knife.
A knife?
A knife.
I was looking between 2 books. A hard find indeed. And by the damage done to the book, I would not say it was fake, but rather strong. It's great fun.
Hang on, that knife looks like it could have made markings on this cover.
Would you look at that? It's French detective here, but no matter what anyone else could.
That clearly isn't the murder weapon. It isn't even covered in blood.
And by the position it is in the room, it was most likely thrown by Mr. Body.
He's dead.
Okay, I say in defense, is Mr. Body known for his talents and knife fights?
Yes, specifically thrown. He's the best knife fighter in the country. Quickest hands too, so whoever did this, whoever did this
They hit him first, knocking him off his target by 25 degrees. Whoever did this must have been a professional killer. This is a major development.
Oh, so, I might ask again. Are you all sure you do not require another detective in this room? One who perhaps possesses a bit more, I don't know, observational skills, such as Poirot.
All right. You nosy, baguette-munching wolves! I'll be the only detective on this case, and by God's sake, my name is
Great! Biggest of brains in the entire world is here to save the day.
Oh, come on!
Can someone give me a stepping stone? Because when I'm on eye level with y'all, I can blow this case wide open.
A kid? Which one of you thought it was a good idea to hire an adolescent to a crime scene?
It must have been you.
You?
It wasn't me, it wasn't me, I swear it wasn't me. I never got a phone call. However, I was summoned by this magical pumpkin that rolled down the hill and landed right on my feet. What? It has everything I need to know written on it. Isn't that nifty? My pumpkin, it really did work.
Okay, I'm sorry, little one, but this room is full enough as it is. There are enough adult professionals on the job.
Well, clearly you can tell I'm a professional detective myself. Not to toot my own horn or anything.
Oh, I see. We have some sort of strategy here. Let's see your young eyes take a shot at your first great mystery.
Oh, here we go. Just more delay from an orphan who's probably carrying the plague.
Sounds good to me. Now, there are 3 grand portraits in this study. All of them look like a body family member from the past. From the framing labels, it can be seen that we have Mr. Edgar Body II. Sir Alan body, and a woman whose name isn't given, but the horse's name is Prometheus. Now, when we put those names together, we get
Edgar Allan Poe, like the writer?
Now, hold on. Those aren't the real names of those body family members. Except for Prometheus, of course.
Now, I believe the Body family collected their wealth off their well of publishing business, yes?
A publishing business that makes even less of Shiva, yes?
And what was Mr. Body's favorite genre of literature?
Why, it was murder mysteries. He would specifically go on and on about the mystery in Room Org by
Edgar Allan Poe himself. Indeed, it was actually considered one of the first murder mysteries to ever be written. Now, where can I find such a book in this library collection?
I have absolutely no idea where you're going with any of this, but I remember there was a copy in that bookshelf over there.
Now this is too kerfuffling to keep track of. What in the world does all of this mean?
Well, it is quite unusual for someone to intentionally rename the plaques on family portraits, especially having them allude to a specific author. For such a man delved into murder mystery literature, I can only assume when I pull this book we'll find the secret entrance! Now just how good is that?
Why, it appears we have a future Thomas Edison right here.
With a line like that, you could be Colonel yourself one day. No, I'm not sure what comes after Colonel, but I'm pretty sure it's Prime Minister. It's terrifying you found a game on the Allen's room at Poe today.
I believe this study is too full.
You heard him. This study does not require any civilians to be nosing in it. Now come on, let us return to the dining room once again. Out, come along, leave.
Come along, leave. We do not need you guys in here. Don't say that.
Will that do, Moriarty? Is there anything else I can do you for?
No, that's quite enough. Thank you, Wadsworth.
It is my pleasure.
And by that I mean, you have royally screwed over this case.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that the other members of the party had called for detectives of their own, and the pumpkin was just by complete chance.
How do you expect me to work with 3 other detectives and ever possibly get any credit for this case?
Because they don't have my trust, and you are the only one I trust to tell the truth.
The truth?
Yes, I'm afraid some awfully terrible things have been happening at the Folly Estate as of recent, and all under my nose, unfortunately. Listen, Moriarty, I know your reputation has been at odds because of that Riddler fellow, but your work will shine past these other detectives. Please, that much I can say is true.
We'll speak further later. I must handle this for now. Thank you, Wadsworth. Honestly, this time. And I'm assuming there's no way we could get the love of your life out of this room as well.
Good one. Good one.
He's staying.
Okay, I can assume you called this meeting to sort out the foozler's mess we find ourselves in. Beyond solving the murder, but rather who should solve the murder?
Fine! I will let one other detective assist me with this case if I have to.
Now hold on here. I know you're a big deal now, Sherlock, but who says it's fair for you to get this case?
Well, it's simple. First, I'm not a failure. Second, I'm not French. And most importantly, I'm not 10 years old like yourself.
Excuse me! I'm actually 10 3/4, and my birthday was on Valentine's Day.
Oh, we get it. Your mother cheated in the spring.
Now, hold on. Are we all forgetting the fact that I was the first on this case? Nancy, back me up on this one. Nancy! Nancy, hello!
Guys! This bookcase leads to a network of secret passageways all throughout the infrastructure of the estate, all unsuspectingly between the walls, each one leading to a different secret entrance in nearly every room. This means the murderer could have entered the study without using the doors or windows. This is huge! What have you guys been up to?
This is my case!
No, mine!
Seriously? We're all here. Why can't we just work together?
Nancy,
We've already all contributed something to this case. Moriarty and I established all of the crime scene's aspects. Perot found that crucial clue, and even the kid found a secret entrance. And of course, Sherlock. The point is, it would be wrong and even reckless of us to take one mind out of the equation now.
Moriarty, this assistant of yours. Okay, my apologies. Detective may actually have a point, even if it serves for less benefit after the case.
So what of Scotland Yard? Huh? They're sure to get some sort of dysentery once they hear about 4 of their detectives on the same case.
You mean 5. So.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5! You're right, I might as well count Watson as a fellow detective as well.
Oh, shut up.
I was so happy.
You don't know how much that
I
means to me.
overjoyed
Yeah.
this.
I've been waiting for this moment for years.
Okay.
Just cool it down. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
You sit.
No, you sit.
This is Body Estate.
Detective Moriarty?
Oh, Chief Inspector Clouseau. Oh, we were just talking about... Not about you, per se. And if so, nothing bad.
Really? Nothing bad about me. Really? Because the pundits may have a party word in 2026. In fact, I may have a party word for you, Moriarty. Would you like to hear my party word, Moriarty?
I wouldn't prefer so, Chief Inspector Clouseau.
You monkey wait! Stubby tongue! Mimsy! Reckless! I'm a detective!
None of those words were related to the bloody Clouseau.
Now, are your fellow detectives in the room with you right now?
Yes, Chief Inspector.
Perfect. Now one of you better explain to me why 4 of my detectives are on one case.
They can't hear you, Inspector.
Oh, well then, perhaps you can do one thing right in this world and put me on speakerphone so I may converse with the whole room.
What's he saying? What's he saying? What? What is happening? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right then, go ahead.
Can you all hear me now? Splendid. Now one of you better explain to me why 4 of my detectives are on one case!
Chief Inspector Clouseau, this is the murder of Mr. Body, head of Body Publishing and a well-known figure in London, and from what we've found, there may be a critical threat to find for the sake of society.
Oh my! Well, that gives me what you call the heebie-jeebies. Or that may be because I am about to be ambushed! No ambush. Anyways, I have made up my mind.
And I'm assuming your decision is Nancy and I. Pretty please.
Let us review our options here. First, there is Detective Sherlock, who is a greatly respected, well-known celebrity. It would be idiotic of me to take him off the case even for publicity reasons.
That's fair.
Oh, and then there is Detective Poirot, a fellow Frenchman. I would never want to dishonor that.
Okay, once again, I am from Belgium. They say, oui, 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 ho, ho, ho. And we say, oui, 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 ho, ho, ho. There's nobody has a difference.
No. Can someone explain to me why the Chief Inspector of Scotland Yard, a British agency, is French?
And then there is Nate the Great. Still a young one, but a culmination of much potential and natural talent. And then there is you, Detective Moriarty. Now, I believe I have a party word for you that I would rather not heard by the rest of the study. May you please take me off speakerphone for your own reputation's sake.
Yes, very well, Inspector.
Now, whether or not I like it, I need you on this case too. Every other detective has their own flashy appeal to them, but they are nonetheless wild cards. You put in good work job, but I still undoubtedly need you. That much I can say is true. Now you may put me back on speakerphone.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chief Inspector.
And so, you are lucky to be kept on this case. You soiled pants, small wee-weed, poopy face of a detective!
At least those words had some correlation to the party this time.
In fact, I am so tired of all this bickering that I will now walk out to the room, but...
Clouseau, you're not in the same room as us.
Wow!
Oh.
Well, if we want to not be filed and successfully handle this case together, I suggest we split up the responsibilities.
If you say so, my deduction should be able to sniff out every corner of this estate. Now, Watson, let's please start with the walk-in closet. Now,
All right, sir.
And I'll look through the secret entrance system to see if I can find any more hiding spots.
I think it would be wise to take this body somewhere that would better preserve it. That way I can inspect the wound and see how it differs from the knife. Oh, where is the staff? Staff!
Yes?
yes.
Take this body to the cellar. Thank you very much.
Yes, correct. Yes, correct. Are you two grabbing? Check him.
I got him.
Yes, yes. I'll trust him. Thank you. This way. And so the detectives split for their separate tasks. Rose holds the cellar. Oh my! Move in towards your left, please. Sorry. Fix my belt. All in search of the beautiful glass cat. Can you please help me? You look stronger than they do. All in search of beautiful glass. Oh!
Just get him out of here, you
I'll tell
bum!
you all later. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
And what of you, Moriarty?
Well, clearly the task that has been left with me is to begin surveying the guests and residents of the estate. This study should suffice as a good area for interrogation.
Oh, I wish you much luck with your interviews. I must be off.
And where may Detective Drew be going, eh?
Right! There are plenty of other things I could do. I could search the room to see if there are any more thrown knives, or maybe search that important letter, or maybe I could...
Perhaps help me begin surveying the suspects and witnesses.
Was that a polite suggestion or a plea?
Please, Nancy, please!
No, no, no! You know I hate interrogations!
You don't understand my plan. I have something I must do on my own.
Are you serious? You want me to do them alone? You're really gonna throw me under the carriage
No,
like
Nancy,
that?
you are most certainly not under the carriage. In fact, you are most certainly inside the carriage, with 7 or more other people with which you must converse to learn about their backgrounds and lives and motives, to determine if their position in the crime scene was suspicious.
For God's sake, just give me the victim! I'd rather spend an hour talking to a dead man than an alive one, that's for sure.
I thought you wanted fame, Nancy. In fact, I know you do.
Oh, how I would love to bathe in it, Moriarty. But let's just imagine that all the other detectives shoot into the ground and we get the credit for this case. Who really gets it then, Moriarty? Who really gets it?
Clearly we do, Nancy.
No. You do, James. However much they enjoy to belittle you, you still have plenty of a chance. And that is for 2 reasons. Number 1, you are an extraordinarily clever and determined man.
Oh, thank you.
And number 2, you're a man.
Nancy.
You saw how the colonel treated me the minute I stated my profession, and you know what the chief inspector thinks of me?
Nancy, I knew that your father and the rest of society wouldn't realize your potential like this old man. I knew you would face far worse judgments than even I. But I also knew that brain and spunk of yours could part the Red Sea.
Okay. I had an observation from earlier, if you wouldn't mind hearing.
An observation? Oh, you must be a detective or something.
Well, I've seen you and Sherlock Buckhorn's a handful of times now, but I've never seen you snap like that. Isn't that the term ripper sympathizer, of all things? Is that what's holding your career back?
In my past, yes, but today it just may be the key to solving this case. Can I trust you to begin surveying the witnesses while I'm away?
Okay, fine, but you better return soon. Who exactly are you looking for anyway?
The truth. That's what we're all looking for, Nancy. And in order to find the truth, we're going to have to fight fire with fire.
Please don't tell me you're bringing in another Detective Moriarty. At this point, we're multiplying faster than rabbits.
Oh, just the opposite, my dear Nancy. Just the opposite.
What is that even? The opposite of a detective? Oh no, he wouldn't dare!
Sorry. Forgot you all were here. A moment. No. No.
Where were we? So, off Moriarty went, scouring the city for leads and contacts, until he pinpointed the location of a long-lost comrade, who now lives in a barber shop on Fleet Street.
You told. We have a special guest.
Not right now, Miss Lovett. I'm already working on a customer at the moment.
Oh, but this is no normal customer. I believe he said his name was Detective.
Detective? You brought a detective in his establishment.
I said it was for some sort of important business. You seem preachy to me.
To think a whole operation could come crumbling down because of your—
Mr. Todd! It's all right. Let the man in.
Right this way, Detective.
State your business, you mutton shunter.
I came in search of a Jack. I require his assistance on a case.
You're not gonna find him here.
I wasn't asking. This is for the very safety of London.
And this is for the very safety of chaps like us. And you can either leave this place empty-handed or a dead man, and it's your choice!
Enough! I'll tell you where this Jack you're looking for is.
Jack! Yeah! Hey! Whoa! Oh! Hey!
Nasty bugger! I thought I'd never see you again.
I'm sorry, it's taken this long.
Man, have the years done their wear and tear.
I wouldn't say so. You look great. I mean, extremely different, but great.
Wouldn't talk about me, mate.
Oh.
Now, how about I get you something to drink? I'm feeling something tropical. Come on. Meanwhile, Nancy Drew had begun her investigations with Mr. Green.
Oh, the tea was practically freezing by the time the food arrived. And don't get me started about that chef. We have been here for 2 hours and not one actually useful tidbit out of you. If you were so bitter about this estate services, then why did you come to this party in the first place?
Well, I mean, of course, only a select few are invited to such an event. And I'm humbled enough to frequent these sorts of things for everyone else's well-being.
Right. Humble. And what exactly is your profession again?
Why I work in Parliament.
A member of the House, a lord.
Please, no, I work more in the hallways.
You're a shoe shiner.
That's the one.
So you're telling me the man that's been complaining and scoffing at the working class all day in his fine clothing at a fancy party like this is a shoe shiner?
Excuse me. I'm not just any old shoe shiner. I am a parliamentary shoe shiner. You know, it's not easy listening to the bickering of lords all
They
Oh,
are.
I'm sure of it.
It's true. In fact, I shine Mr. Peacock's shoes most frequently, and he squawks just as much as his wife. Wait, Miss Peacock's husband works in Parliament? Hardly. I heard his chances of getting in were quite slim, and he just passed it. Although he acts quite smug despite these pressing odds. And yet he's not at this event with us today. He's never been. Only that wench of his. A busy man he is, I suppose. Fascinating. Now, Mr. Green, was everyone at the table when the kettle started pouring? Couldn't say so. Plum was surely late, probably doing who knows what in his carriage, as he entered quite sweaty and huffing. Miss White was also quite late as well. Girl can never put on enough blush to welcome guests even into her own home. I see. But who exactly left the gathering early? Who left first and who came back last? Oh, I can tell you who came last. Okay. The biscuits! I mean, they might as well have been molding. I'm telling you, that chef is trying to poison us. All right, out now. I make shoes cleaner than her food. I said out! Hold on, just one more thing. Out, Green! Wait! I have one more vital detail about the dangers of Mr. Bobby. You mean the victim? Have you ever wondered why he might have been killed in the first place? He was a very powerful man. He has connections.
Thank you for coming today, Mr. Green. I know it's odd to ask for such a private meeting, especially with such a new associate, but I'm sure you'll understand why shortly.
Connections that put everyone tied to this case at risk.
Now, friends of mine have seen you visiting a German fellow in his home. Quite frequently, might I add.
What exactly did he know? Let's say. Just come on.
We wouldn't know exactly what occurs when you two go behind doors, but looking at this man's background, we can assume it would be quite appalling.
Mr. Green, he's gone. He can't hurt you anymore. And if confidentiality is what you need, then I just might be able to get it for you if it solves this case.
If this is true, then you have nothing to worry. Perhaps I can help you find a way to keep this under wraps. For a price, of course.
No, son. Even if he is dead, his business still lives on, and I surely wouldn't trust anyone of his family blood either. And how should I trust you? Because you have to. Oh, yeah? What makes you feel sicker? The thought of disobeying the law or the thought of disobeying a dead man? I think that answers your question. Fine. Thank you. If you would mind sending Miss White into the study or to the bathroom, I would appreciate it. It's looking awfully gray out today. The storm must be coming.
Indeed.
I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. You have quite the reflexes, though.
My apologies, I didn't wish to scare you, Detective Drew.
Hey, that's Detective Drew to you.
That's what I said.
Right. Sorry, I just, please take a seat. Now, Miss White, where were you when the party began?
Well, I was in my room preparing.
Okay.
I knew my father had everything handled and I should just look my best for the day. I then made my way to the dining room, only to find the table empty. I eventually found him in the study, as he were in that very chair just a moment ago.
Right. Yes, I'm so sorry to completely pass my mind to give you my condolences.
It's all right. I'm fine now. Practically flooded the kitchen earlier, though. You can say it's out of my system.
Were you close with your father? Would you possibly know the details of his business?
Well, it's not the duty of the daughter to know the father's business, just to be proud.
Right, but the daughter might know if the company had any ulterior motives. Sometimes fortune is attained in other
Are you
ways.
questioning my father's integrity? The man who was just killed today.
No, I'm just saying I've heard he may have had some harmful practices towards his guests.
Harmful practices! Now, I might not know of my father's business, but I did know of his heart, and it was a good one at that.
Fine then.
Not fine. I can't believe you would ask such questions. Excuse me, sorry.
No, please don't leave. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Please.
Very well. I accept. Thank you.
Hold on just a minute. I don't need to apologize to you because, well, I'm the detective. It is my job to question these things and to run this case, so you better be good. Come on!
I'm sorry. Pardon.
No use.
You did a great job, I promise.
You just think of me like the rest of them do.
Who? You mean that old troll mustard, that Crete Plum?
Nancy, I saw what you did in the study earlier today. It was absolutely fantastic. I hope you realize that. I was only laughing at you because your attempted intimidation was...
Pathetic?
I would rather say charming, really.
Oh. Well, thank you, I suppose.
Would you like a drink?
That sounds wonderful.
Do you like white?
Of course I'd like you.
Excuse me? Wine, Detective Drew?
Yes. White wine sounds wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. White, delicious white wine to drink. Help me. What is your full name again?
Emily Orchid White. A pleasure.
So White is your true last name. I expected it to be Body, as you said you were.
White was my mother's maiden name. I go by White in honor of her absence.
Right. 2 parents gone. That must be... How long ago was this one?
8 years ago. She was quite the remarkable adventurous woman. Explored all of London on horseback. That is until the horse stumbled into a ravine. We keep her ashes here to remember.
Wow, that is such a beautiful urn and such a beautiful way to still hold her close.
Oh, the urn is for the ashes of the horse.
Oh.
Yes, she's in that one.
Right. Yes. The honey pot.
Honey pot.
Did anybody think to tell me it was in the honey pot? What? Just... Well, for what it's worth, my mom died when I was little too. I'd say it took quite the toll on my father. He never really approved of my, well, anything. I would say I was only able to become the true Nancy Drew you see before you today once he sent me to live with my family friend Moriarty.
Oh, and I'm guessing he knows of your detective life, yes?
Precisely! Except for the whole detective part. And he thinks that I'm at boarding school.
Oh.
And he thinks that I'm being courted by a dashing English man named Matthew Kingham. So, don't know how I'm going to explain that one.
Say, Drew, I presume you've studied some form of body movement yet?
I've had my fair share of Irish and African dance classes, sure.
You never fail to fascinate, do you? Could I have the honor, Detective Drew?
Please. Call me Nancy. Wow, you're quite good at this, aren't you?
Half my talents.
I'm sure there's more.
Nothing as brilliant as detective skills.
And I'm sure that's a lie.
I'd say I'm only good at dancing because of all the royal balls I've been to.
Royal balls?
Oh, they're nothing really. Not even lords are much to worry about. All right, I might oblige. There is another hobby of mine I hold quite dearly.
And that is?
Well, my father wasn't the only one in the family who enjoyed murder mysteries. The only difference is he read them.
Why, you're a writer. That's extraordinary.
I don't know. There's just something so fascinating about murder, mystery, and mayhem. Of course, it's far different when you're really in one. More terrifying.
So where could I find such pieces? I assume I could walk into any library in London and they would be there.
Why would you say that?
Because I'm sure your words are fantastic and, well, your family runs a publishing company, so I just thought that...
I've never seen them published.
What?
Like I said, it's not the duty of the daughter to know the father's business, just to be proud.
He never approved of your writing, did he?
It's not like that, it's complicated.
That's wrong, you know that, right?
Nancy, please.
You can find your way just like me. You can break free. Plus, there are plenty of other female writers out there. You don't need to just be subordinate. You can be
Nancy! Can we please drop the subject?
All right.
What else should we discuss?
Well, I'm quite out of words. Miss White, you leave me in awe. So talented and pristine, I can't believe you haven't found a partner already.
I've never fancied a husband. I've never imagined myself giving to one before.
Never wanting a kiss, have you?
Perhaps in my dreams, if it was with someone I truly desired.
Oh, Nancy, I'm back!
Hi, Moriarty, what is it?
I've just found our secret weapon. This case is ours.
Right, the case. We are solving a case. Miss White, thank you for that information and for the refreshments and for everything else.
Of course, I hope I was helpful.
And please send me that writing of yours.
Good day.
What was that all about?
Please, Moriarty, you know how much I dislike interviews. Now, what about that lead?
Okay. Oh, well. Was just right behind me moments ago.
Excuse me, this is good juice, really. Oi! You didn't tell me we were going to the Ritz now, did ya?
Detective Drew, this is Jack.
Told them what to you, it's Jack.
Right, well, very generic names aside, I got the impression that you were bringing in a special expert, Moriarty. I even thought that you would go to such extreme lengths as to bring in another murderer.
Act J is yay, ot nay, erdrummer. Alright, it's just a tad bit more complicated than non-murderers or innocent civilians think it is.
Wait, so what I'm hearing is you really are,
Alright. So I may have been a little bit coconuts in the head back in the day, if that's what you're asking. You see, Moriarty and I were good friends in our youth, but once we grew up, we went our separate ways. He turned towards law, and I turned towards the sketch-back streets and all.
On one of my first cases, I was assigned to inspect a series of threatening letters in puzzles sent to Scotland Yard. I was actually partners with Sherlock on that case. He and the other detectives thought it to be the work of a mastermind, but I knew it was really just a cry for help from Jack.
Oi, are you saying I'm not a mastermind, eh?
You signed all of them as Jack.
Not just Jack, Jack the Ripper. It's about branding people.
You realise how stupid that sounds?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so cool at the time. But what was I even supposed to be ripping? I mean, bodies don't rip. Was it supposed to be like R.I.P.? Was I going to start R.I.P.ing people? I don't know. I was just so edgy back then. And thank God you solved it when you did, Moriarty. I was this close to plunging my knife into my first victim when Moriarty here burst through the door and held me back.
I had to compel the judge to not execute Jack. So it was decided that Jack would be banished to live elsewhere, which in turn killed my career.
Goodness, this is why Sherlock and Clouseau detest you, all because you wanted to save your friend.
I've spent my whole career trying to hide my past of Jack the Ripper from the public. It's one thing I can say I've succeeded at. And it's one thing I can say was worth it.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
So how was Moriarty able to find you so easily back in London? I assumed you'd learn your lesson about crimes after the first time around.
Oh, well, you see, my banishment was a blessing, really. I got to travel the world, find new values, a new meaning to life. I finally learned how to kumbaya, live, laugh, love. And once I finally returned home to London, I was able to share that love with my community. I am proud to say that I am no longer Jack the Ripper, but Jack the Giver. I donate. There, have some money. Oh, I know you like that. I cancel. Oh, you look so sad. Don't be sad. I even run a tambourine festival. And I can make a slapping good pina colada. I'm a new man.
That's really, really beautiful. Jack the Giver. Now perhaps we can use that mind of yours to see through the eyes of a murderer.
Right, sounds good to me. You might want to take a step back.
Party on my way.
Of course, take as much time as you need to survey the room. Just give him a chance. He's an expert. He's got those eyes. He's focused. He's focused. Good idea. Just give him a chance. That's it. He sees something.
been to a bookstore before? Should I just pick something up and start reading, or is that kind of...
I'm not sure this Jack here is going to be much use considering he's never actually killed anyone before.
Thank you so much for noticing.
Oh, yeah.
Jack, this isn't a bookstore. This is the Body Estate.
Body?
Yes.
Body? Wait, I know that name. Yeah, you see, when I was in my stabby phase, I was obsessed with the idea of killing prostitutes, and there was one brothel in particular that I was fascinated by. Yeah, and Mr. Body, he frequented it. But it didn't appear to be as a customer, but as a business consultant. Yeah, and the name of the brothel was,
Yes!
name of the brothel... Boy,
I've had one too many pina coladas today.
This is useless. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea.
I'd say this is a great start. One more clue to Body's estate. Jack here can be a great resource considering he's never actually killed anyone before. Yeah. Then there's nothing suspicious that the other detectives can find about him. So that's settled.
Jack!
Oh, Todd, is that you? Did you follow me all this way?
Well, you see, I realised I hadn't fully finished.
It's just...
Oh, my shave.
Notice that? The scruff right there in your jawline.
Oh, right,
actually, that's important.
we're just gonna...
I'm just gonna throw that. Can we actually not do this right now?
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, it's all right. Okay. He says it's all right, then I guess.
I don't know.
Jack, this isn't exactly the best time for a shave.
They're trying to solve a murder case.
Oh, a murder case. Well, that takes me back. I've slaughtered, over 100 people before.
What?
Oh, don't worry. He only used to do it.
Besides, this good lad right here helped me proudly reject my past identity as Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Accept my new identity, Sweetie Todd. Because, well, I'm just such a sweet guy now.
Right, we need to get you out of here now.
I haven't finished Jack's shave. I
don't care.
Sweetie, the door.
Fine. That way, and this.
Love it.
Sweetie, startle me. What are you doing here?
I can ask the same question.
May we start with the question of who this lady is?
Oh.
Who's this lady?
I don't know.
So you don't.
This is not my fault.
Miss Lovett is a dear accomplice of mine.
Boy, did I make some of the finest meat pies in London out of Sweeney's victim.
Oh, great! Another murderer! That's great.
Not anymore. Didn't you hear that we reinvented ourselves?
Obviously, I don't import citizens into meat pies anymore. In fact, I've moved to a far better solution. It says meat that comes from no animal, so we'd say it's impossible even.
So, what brings you here? And with a pie as well?
Oh, well, it's simple really. I'm just dropping off a thank you pie to a friend.
What friend? And thanking them for what?
You see, oh dear, how should I explain this?
Love it! Ah! Fresh meat in the basement!
Wait a minute.
It's not a little...
So what I'm hearing is
perfect explanation for.
Mr. Body was gonna be chopped up so he could be pie filled?
Yes!
Just leave.
Love it! How could you? The imposter pie was a lie this whole time.
Okay, so what if I still make pies out of meat? I didn't lie. I said I don't make them out of poor citizens anymore.
And how does that make it any better?
You know the old Robin Hood saying, cook the rich and feed the poor.
That is definitely not how the saying goes.
Miss Lovett, we were supposed to recreate ourselves, give back to the community, make the world a better place. Exactly. We've been able to fill the stomachs of so many young destitute orphans because of these pies.
All right, that's enough. Detective Drew is right. You all must leave immediately. I believe that you, Jack, should leave as well. Your ties to these murderers are too close for our career's comfort.
Detective Moriarty, are you still in the study?
Rats! We're too late! Everyone hide!
Oh no!
I am the one responsible for all of you detectives being here today. I thought it would only fit to review your work and see how you're doing.
Remember how we said we were partners through thick and thin? Forget it.
This is preposterous. 3 more dead bodies?
Her guts are overflowing!
No, everyone calm down. Miss Peacock here has only fainted, and Mr. Todd here has just fallen, and Miss Lovett has... Oh no.
Love it. Oh. You have to watch me. Love it. Love it. Oh, I can't believe this. I thought we would live forever. Just the two of us, baking and trimming together. All these years. And I never got to tell you that
You're so gullible, so I keep you around, of course.
I love it. That was quite the gag. Nasty trickster of brand new.
All right, I hope so. It's a very reasonable explanation for this story.
Yes! There better be a reasonable explanation to interrupt my investigations.
Thorough investigations. Excuse me, who is that over there?
Oh, it's no.
You might be
No, Giver! It's Jack the Giver. You see, I just I hired a few experts to assist me with the case, and Jack the Giver here is an expert in organs and how they function.
Told them more into you all.
And Sweetie Todd here, that's right, Sweetie Todd is an expert in the mechanics of knives. And Miss Lovett here has baked us a pie, which has clearly been spilled, which is a shame.
I can make another one.
It's extreme, I feel.
So I hope that clears all that up.
Very well. Let us continue with the investigation.
Excuse me, I have to go wash it.
Detective Blake, what happened? You look like you have seen a ghost.
It was no ghost. I was led through another secret entrance system that led into a walk-in closet, and I saw.
A clue on as a murder?
Oh.
No, not that.
Oh, you poor thing. Let's get you some hot cocoa.
The guests have been getting restless, and for good reason. I think it's about time I tell you about Mr. Body's secrets.
I know. I'm beginning to smell the sustained bow wow mutton myself. We'll speak about this later. For now, just sit down and breathe.
I suppose I could be all wads worked up.
It's getting old, buddy. Please tell me you're still willing to converse with me.
I'm glad you're feeling better, and I implore you, don't do that to Sherlock.
No promise.
Okay. Well, I suppose you handled the Jack situation fairly well.
Right, and how have the interrogations been?
After some bickering, Mr. Green finally told me who left the gathering early, but he couldn't quite specify the order they were in. He also said that Mr. Body is up to no good and is still a threat beyond the grave.
Fascinating. I wonder if this correlates to Mr. Body's brothel affairs. What of Miss White?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Informative and helpful to the case, of course.
Oh, Scott, I know we shouldn't be seen together, especially not in the weather, but we just needed some time in your presence and only your presence. Oh, my, I've been anxious to go to you as well, you see. I listened in on the detectives a moment ago. They seem to be getting closer to letting run my business.
Nancy, I've caught quite the suspicion. And I'm not quite sure how else to explain it, except through this. What do you think of this candle?
Color's dull, the texture's coarse, and smells like pork tallow. Ugh.
Right, so that is your face on a regular basis.
Hey!
But then, something happened between you and Miss White, and...
Oh, that's very poetic, Moriarty.
Thank you, I've actually been taking some classes. Besides the point, what I'm trying to say is, I hope you're being careful of how this develops.
Oh, Scarlet, I don't know what to do. My father, his very weighty body legacy is nearly too much to handle. Calm yourself, White. You'll always want to see with this close. I can feel it. I'll find us the poems right on track. I promise.
I'm not saying there is something between Miss White and I, but if there was, what would be so wrong about that?
Well, first of all, it's not wise to mix your work life with your personal life. And second of all, I think you know.
Yes, I'm sorry. There's nothing. There could never be. That much I can say is true.
Funny how I keep hearing people say that. However, I'm not sure I can believe it this time.
Oh, Scarlet, I know you are a new connection, one hand. Oh, I don't know how my hands have been. Scarlet, don't be Scarlet.
Oh my! With all due respect, Moriarty, I have looked to you for professional advice and inspiration, but never when it comes to my own happiness.
Happiness? Nancy, this is serious. You could be executed for this.
Oh yeah? Well, chew on this, Moriarty. All my life I have felt a rope around my neck and a crooked stool under my feet, and nearly every man that I have met has been kicking and kicking and kicking at that stool, just waiting for the minute that it is knocked out from under me. And I don't think anything I could do would stop them. I was proven guilty the day I was born a woman! Are you even listening to me?
Someone may see us. We should get inside soon. Someone should arrive. Although I'm not quite sure what our next step is. Just leave it to me, White. Come on.
What is it?
Nothing, just birds of sorts. Just birds of sorts.
It's dark outside.
Let us focus on the case. The best course of action would be to inspect Wadsworth next. He's had eyes on all the guests, and he's the closest link to what Mr. Body's plans were to be. Perhaps he can help shed light on this mystery.
Blackout! There must be a problem with the gas pipes in the basement.
Lead the way, Nancy.
Don't worry! I know what to do. What does that right do, Sherlock? No idea!
You want me to finish your shave?
Now is not the best time, Tom!
I see. Hey, give it back, you wench! I was nothing like you enough to die looking just dying!
And through the madness of it all, one figure grabbed a new tool of demise and stopped the one who bore the truth.
Okay, smell the roses, blow the candle. Smell the roses, blow the candle. Smell the roses, blow the candle. Smell the roses, blow the candles. Smell the roses, blow the candle. Smell the roses, blow the candle. All the candles have all been blown out, so that's no problem to begin with.
And thus, after finishing their new job, the murderer retreated back into the black shadows.
Dieu merci. Is everyone all right? Did anyone fall?
Oh, worse than fooling.
Look my way.
No heartbeat. He was intensely bludgeoned. By this, half a coconut!
I'll make the first accusation. Jack the Giver in the study with half a coconut.
Say coconut was stolen from the packet room!
Someone tell the butler there's a mess in the toilet room!
It was Green! He was the only one out of the study. He was
Jack, Jack, you